Chairman of the University Council, with your kind permission, I would like to alter the order of proceedings slightly. In that regard, I would want to invite the Honorable Deputy Minister representing government to do her presentation before His Royal Majesty. Please, before His Royal Majesty will do his presentation. But before the Honorable Deputy Minister does a presentation, we would once again invite Openi Osei Kwame Kranche to give us another piece, and then the Honorable Deputy Minister will address us.
Semi mane ya mende omi nhwe dan mu eno ma wa ha ya ho fade ayansa no nwuma no ma nkonya ya tete so no nso ayansa no nwuma akasamu ya mekasamu obi adwene no ade a me boy nso ano si yansa no nwuma ana me wa nso mi onya me nsa no oduma se ya tie ya sibedi mu a akwaso beba ama mpontu aba o menyimu a ehiansa no nwuma obi kan wasesa kura no onya de na sa wonima de ama ne nkosuansa no nwuma awiro ho sampa enti ade a me ye nananom saminya smart pa metma ye wotumfo ati adwom mawie ayiko money yo Betty Aba, money and Jumpire, Senya Mima, I call your mamma money. Oh,
thank you very much once again, as brief as that. Chairman of Council, I would at this point want to invite the Honorable Deputy Minister for Education in charge of TVET to address us on behalf of the ministry and the presidency. Thank you very much.
I know say to all of you. but not by deed of not certain priorities. My minister sends his warm greetings. He says, Prof, for being the first VC for no less an institution, as has been said, the university was the longest name ever. Appeaminka University of Skills Training and Entrepreneurial Development. Again, let me say that when we're going through the bill in Parliament, because it was TVET institutions we hope to establish, I had to manage all the bills in Parliament. And the question was asked, how are old people and people who are not well educated going to pronounce this lengthy name? And then we said, therefore, there's going to be an acronym for that. So we thank God it is AAMUSTED, which everybody could pronounce. Otumfo, Mr. Okwanye Dijume, and I'm so one master see ya. Kayen to me in so. Na yam fa school nsi so. Na school no so de bribia yam fa bi nka ho. Apem so, e ho enhira. E wo dwumedi ahoro a wo ye wo. Prof, your appointment is truly a testament of your exemplary qualification, unwavering commitment, and passion for advancing the fields of skills training and entrepreneurial development. You are not just here at this time because you are here, but you are here because with all your CVs and all the research that you have done, I am convinced that you couldn't have had any other person at this time of our country, Ghana, where our government had invested so much in TVET, and we're doing so much advocacy in TVET to motivate young and old to invest in TVET, to be in charge of this apex institution for technical vocational education and training to ensure that we get men who and women who will be there to train our instructors and also train our learners. Mitie unyu bia na mebisa me ho nsem bebre ba na wo yinsem no nyina no enema ye de to nwom wo abibimam enema no wo he aya ne ye bo nwom na krenkrenkrenkre wo nte hwe wontumi sunsu abibi emfirim na mo nyame nhira wo se wakasa aban ye na na dodan kwakufu adoda no ya sha se ye si school, Kukura or Kwadaso. I said this very constituency is so blessed with schools, skills, and creativity to a point that we having the first ever creative arts school still in Kwadaso here, which is about 85% complete. And when you get there, you won't believe you are in Ghana. This is what we want to do, such that those who are so gifted will have the privilege to develop their gift to ensure that we use all the resources that God has built us with, and not the resources of diamond, gold, asase, and the rest, but the resources that is the human resources, of which, with Prof. Safo at the Center of Skills Development and Training of Teachers and Instructors for facilitating skills and entrepreneurial training, we show that, Prof, but with all the support from Otumfuo, from the President, from the Government Ministry of Education, we know you can, with all our support and that of the Lord Almighty. This calls for individuals who do not only possess the technical know-how, but have the love for that. And Prof, there is a challenge, as all of us are celebrating you today, there's a challenge all of us collectively must solve them. Youth of today have so much challenges, but we are quick to say that they are difficult. So because as traditional educationists, we want to use the same manual to mold all young people as well as the adults. But you bear with me that as a TVET and skills expert, when I give you a manual for iPhone, and I give you an iPhone, and I give you a manual for Techno, and I give you a Techno phone, you cannot switch the manuals and operate those phones effectively. This means that as well as machines have different manuals, human beings are the most valuable human resource. You also have different manuals. Because God, in his own wisdom, Master TVET official, that's God himself, he made us beautifully and differently in various forms of diversity. Therefore, it is important that we see each individual as each component of any machine which need special attention and different way of operation. By so doing, we could understand ourselves as human beings, we could mold ourselves, and within your teams, you could see that there are different individuals in your teams, as well as your students and your other people you may find. We are all different, but if you are handled in a unique way, you get the maximum support and maximum results that we are expecting. As government is doing so much in investing in education, we have a challenge in the country, but thank God we've been able to see some progress. With this, research has shown that countries with tertiary enrollment ratios being higher than 40 have very high GDP. It means tertiary education has so much to do so far as GDP of every country is concerned. But further research has also proved that where we have a lot of our graduates being experts in STEM and TVET, and I was glad, Prof, when you said that, then I realized, yes, I've seen the rare expert, and my consultant is here, as it was whispered to me. As I stand here, I don't see any difference between TVET and STEM. They are the same. Because if you don't understand what you have to do with your heart, your hands, and your mind, there's nothing that you could do to turn things around and do things for yourself. So I'm glad to announce that with the introduction of the free SHS, which has not put any boundaries for any individual, we've been able to increase our tertiary enrollment ratio from 18.84 to 20% this academic year. And we hope that we reach 40% by the year 2030. But I am optimistic that by the time we get to 2030, we should even be beyond the 40%. A higher GTR not only enhances the country's economy, but also provides students with the opportunity to acquire the skills and knowledge needed to thrive the 21st century workforce. With the right education, young individuals can become catalysts for change and contribute for the nation's growth and prosperity. We recognize that the world is rapidly evolving, necessitating our constant effort to provide students with the best possible education. This entails regularly reassessing our programs to align them with the latest industry trend and demand. And please, there's one other thing that is stressing all of us. We often find in the Auditor General's reports of too many programs that we run. My VCs, please, too many programs we run without accreditation. So the question is, after the certification, where do our students go? And you know, we live in a country where, irrespective of the certificate that you have or the knowledge that you have, the authenticity of the certificate is very crucial. And for that reason, we thank God GTech is here. And our VCs, almost all our VCs are here. This shows that Prof. Safo will always be at your program. And I was surprised he's an Adventist. It means he knows how to manage his Sabbath and do all the needful to ensure that he relates vertically and also horizontally to achieve heavenly responsibilities and successes, as well as the earthly ones. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, to this end, the Ministry of Education is dedicated to promoting innovation and creativity among the youth, implementing policies and reforms that prioritize TVET and STEM education. These efforts aim to equip students with the skills required to succeed in fourth revolution, industrial revolution, fostering a skilled workforce and driving economic growth. The government is making significant investments in education, including the construction of various STEM and TVET institutions and facelifting the TVET institutions and ensuring that we have this apex TVET institution. And as I tell instructors of TVET institutions, all the upgrade that you need, the modern technology, the equipment available, the human resource to mold and remold a TVET instructors is found right here in Akenten, Apiaminka. Additionally, the government has recently introduced the no guarantor student loan policy, which will also ensure that there's still no barrier for any student, irrespective of his or her background. And we've also increased this amount by 50%. That is ranging between 1,500 and 3,000 per student. This policy aims to provide greater financial assistance to students, facilitating their pursuit for higher education. The Ministry of Education has also launched a pre-engineering program which offers second cycle graduates who have not had any experience to do science at the second cycle level. Once this program has been introduced, as traditional as we are and as difficult as human, it's difficult to change what we have learned and used to. We have too many of our learned professors saying that, hey, education for more, but say education. How could somebody who have not done science do engineering? But I'm glad to announce that 2 institutions, UMAT and Pentecost University, offered to start this 1-year pre-engineering program. And the students, after 1 year intensive training, had done so well that this year they've gained admission to the various programs under engineering. Why did we do that? Because research has proved that with those globalizations, countries that have high percentage of engineers, we often have a lot of investors invest in those countries in areas of industrialization because the manpower availability is so high that they rush to these countries. The Ministry of Education therefore take pride in this very program that we leapfrogging to ensure that engineers and technicians are increased to a very large extent to ensure that whoever is well endowed would love to come to Ghana to establish their industries. And I'm glad to say that with all these efforts, many industries, both indigenous and also foreign, are moving into the country, especially in the areas of automobile. Many of them had moved and they continue to move. Council Chair, the government is fully committed to ensuring that Ghanaians have access to quality tertiary education, and I urge all stakeholders to join government to continue to deliver excellent tertiary education, not only for Ghanaians, but the world as a whole. So for this, I appeal to everybody present for us to collaborate with the university with the longest name to improve their infrastructure in areas of hostels. In this modern times, most hostels are jointly owned by private individuals and the government. And we'll be glad that we also get investors into this area. And as it has been said, TVET is for everybody, from birth to the grave, from funerals to outdoors. As we stand here beautifully dressed, everything about myself, and not to mention, is by TVET. Thank you very much, distinguished executives.